The street had been alive with the sound of snow blowers, calls of hellos as the neighbors shuffled their drives, then helped each other finish theirs as well. Shortly afterward, people had been out walking like it wasn't some sort of snowy version of Armageddon out there. Though the baby monitor, she heard Xavier starting to gurgle and coo in his bed beside hers. Picking up the device, Catherine headed up the stairs. In the hall that led to the living room, she met Zach, who was carting an office chair. What's that? I got you a chair with a lumbar support and armrest. She couldn't help but smile. The chair was gorgeous and looked very comfortable. She wanted to worry about Zach spending money on things for his business, but seeing how much was owed to him and Logan, a proper chair might be nice. The kitchen chair is fine, she said, wanting to assure him she didn't expect to be pampered. Excuse me. What if we have company? We can carry it upstairs, silly. She gave a little laugh. She learned that when Zach decided something was needed, he made sure it materialized and there was no use fighting it. She figured a new desk was much likely to appear next, but wanted him to know she didn't expect it. I've seen your financials. Saving a little money wouldn't be a bad idea. The man spent like money was water coming over the falls. I've got savings, and you need a proper chair. I'm only sitting for a few hours at a time. I'm all caught up by the way. She hoped this sudden prompt billing shortly after her arrival didn't lead the townspeople to believe she was a money gambler. Zach moved past her. You could still use a proper chair. As he angled his way through the doorway to the basement steps, he called, I have no interest in being sued because I failed to provide suitable office equipment. You can't sue your husband, she thought for a moment. Can you? Don't get any ideas about finding loopholes. Shaking her head in amusement, she went to retrieve Xavier. He kicked his feet when he saw her, feeling her heart. Hey, my little man, how was your nap? She kissed his soft cheeks, loving the way they were so doughy and warm, giving in to the light pressure of her lips. Such uncomplained love. She changed Xavier's diaper, marvelizing at how much he filled out over the past week. His cheeks seemed chubbier, his short legs sporting an extra row. Look at you, getting so big. His diaper had leaked a bit while he slept, and she changed him into a borrowed one-piece outfit that had a hippo on the front, the navy blue bringing out the darkness of his eyes and hair. Mommy needs to go to the store so she can touch up her roots and look pretty. She gave Xavier kisses all over his belly. Gaining weight and dyeing her hair had given her a decent all-new identity, one she intended to hold on to. But it's scary outside, too much snow for Mom. She carried Xavier down to the living room, where Zach was wrestling with the chair's large shipment box, snipping the tape so the carton would lie flat. I suppose Xavier's still too small to enjoy in a cardboard box fort. A little bit, but I'm not. Sorry, you missed playtime, Mama. When is the snow ever going to end? She asked, standing in the front of the window. She was embarrassed by the amount of dark roots they were showing, and had resorted to a ponytail, hoping Zach hadn't noticed just how far from being a true blonde she actually was. Outside, the whole street was a winter wonderland of softened shapes and dampened sounds. The pure white Corvette coverlet. Sorry, y'all. Sparkling when the sun made a random appearance, but the storm had also left her housebound, as she didn't know how to drive in these conditions, and the stroller was impossible to push. She'd seen a mom go by with a set of twins bundled on a sled, marching up and down the street, getting her exercise while walking the dog as well. The problem was, if Catherine asked for a sled, Zach would get one. It'd be too easy to take advantage of his generosity, especially since he seemed to enjoy spoiling Xavier. He thought the boy a lovely stuffed giraffe and a hippo. Xavier was too young to play with them, but during his tummy time on the rug, he loved to stare at the giraffe with his big, beautiful eyes. Zach came over to stand beside her and watch the falling snow. It's peaceful, memorizing. He turned away, saying casually, "It'll probably end about in April." "April!" she exclaimed, startling Xavier, who was cozy up against her chest. Catching Zach's expression, she relaxed. "You can't joke about things like that. It's still only November and not officially winter yet. I can't imagine it getting worse than this. It's not uncommon to get snow until May around here." "Zach!" He flinched, pretending to cower. "What?" "The mountains and altitude, rain on storms and strange weather patterns. It's not my fault. I'm blaming you if it snows in May." "You've got cabin fever?" he asked, becoming a bit more serious. "I feel like I'm going to go bonkers." "Then let's go out." Then let's go out, he said simply. In this, she could barely see across the street. Snowflakes were falling so steadily. It was like the frozen Evelyn of a tropical rainy November in the UK. In this, Zach grinned and nodded and headed to the coat closet and the tray. Seconds later, he reappeared with an armload of clothing. "I don't think I can manage to walk in this, not with the stroller." She was afraid to use the baby carrier that kept Xavier snug to her chest in case he suffocated under all the layers. "We're driving." Zach jingled his keys and Catherine's heart lifted until she sized up the pile of clothing. It was so much work to get ready, but Zach had explained to her the other day as he got unbundled up to drive to the store for milk, and this repaired Land Rover, which looked amply suited for the weather conditions as well as a family of three, that you always wanted to be dressed for the worst. He listed possible things that would leave you stranded, such as accidents, an icy patch that would put you into the ditch, a winter-induced breakdown, or a road closure or an avalanche. She hadn't even thought of avalanches being a danger, and now cast a suspicion glance at every peak that dared show itself through the hovering clouds. "Can we stop at the chemist?" she asked, hoping they carried her usual brand of hair dye so she wouldn't have to puzzle through which brand would be the closest match to her existing color. "The drugstore." "Sure." "Then I'm in." Taking Xavier's snowsuit so she could begin the process of wrangling him into it, she asked, "Remind me again why I moved here?" "Because it happens to be where the best men are." Quite simply, she had to.